Hey y'all. Um, Hold on a second. Let me share my screen. Okay. Welcome back. I hope everyone had a nice little moment to decompress. Um, okay. Welcome back, Bougie Gang. Welcome. I restarted the computer. I put on some more pink lip gloss. I feel like it's a little too pink. Maybe I put on is it too much pink? Is there such a thing? Yes, there is such a thing. Let me stop. I've answered my own question. This is not too pink, but it's too pink for right now. Okay. Answered that question. Okay. I think they're going to be getting started in just a moment. Welcome back, everybody. I feel like hopefully people are getting their notifications because um I'm sure I'm out. I'm slap out of notifications. Fix this thing over the weekend. That's the one thing, is like just managing your equipment. They're not talking yet. What did I drop on the floor? God, her teeth are horrible. I wonder if they get like a cleaning a year. Most people aren't there for 4 years, I would imagine. So, but people who are there for a long time, how do they handle their hygiene issues? Like, I guess they go to the doctor, but as far as like dental is like dental is a big deal. Um, you need to have that handled. Um, James Owens looks very much, he should be concerned. I'm gonna just say, and he should be. He should be very concerned. He should have kept his ass up there. Well, look, I'm glad she's got a lawyer. Let me stop. Um, let's see. There's no sound yet, so we're just waiting. Okay. Um, I'm not going to touch the thing at all. We're not touching anything. Here comes Judge Crane. I wonder, the big ominous box, is that the suitcase? Oh, it's got to be. Look at the thing wrapped up next to it. A baseball bat, maybe? Let's think about this. Let's use our deductive reasoning. And is that the suitcase? This is called the suitcase unalive, isn't it? This is the suitcase unaliving trial. So that must be said suitcase. And that must be the baseball bat. Okay. Ma'am has on her good Halloween manicure. Do you see Madam Clerk with her multicolored fall nails? Ferris said, "Can we go get nails done this weekend?" I was like, "Absolutely. I've been waiting for you to say that." Sarah is just here for the sack lunch, the the hope of 2 bags of chips, 5 peppermints. What was it? She's here in hopes of 2 juice packs, 5 peppermints, 2 bags of chips, a bag of candy, some cookies or some Pop Tarts. She's hoping. She's here for the treats, which she's not getting. She's getting a sack lunch of peanut butter and jelly in the basement. Okay. Oh God. Girl, she's so close to Mr. Henderson. I'd be like, excuse me. Miss Jury Consultant is over there trying to distract Mr. Will J. Come on now, don't take us back to the medallion. We want to see what's going on in the courtroom. It's like, damn. Girl, she's here for the experience. Can her lawyers bring her the doggy bag? No, she probably has to eat. First of all, I don't think Judge Cranick allows snacking in the court. Just like, remember Judge Whitaker was like, this is not a movie. You're not going to be sitting and eating popcorn. I guess Judge Glanville didn't mind people having a snack. So these look like some people who are under Judge Cranick's tutelage. Hey, Judge Cranick. Hey. We're on the record. Hi, Judge Cranick's office. Can I help you?
All right, we're back on the record. State of Florida versus Sarah Boone, 2020 CF 2603. Can I get appearances for counsel for the record, starting with counsel for the state?
Dave Kester on behalf of the state. William J. for the state.
Defense.
James Owens for Sarah Boone. Tony Henderson for Sarah Boone. Kevin Beck on behalf of Sarah Boone.
Ms. Boone is seated at counsel's table wearing the same black suit and pink blouse from this morning. State, anything we need to address before we bring back in our panel?
Can we get the evidence projection system up and can we test it before we
Yes.
go live?
Yes, sir.
Guys, settle in. I think we've got a video coming. Okay. I think we got a video coming.
If you want to test it out, Mr. J.
I'm telling you, as a student, what a stroke of luck to be with. I mean, he seems like a really good judge. On top of the fact, you are at like a trial that's going to go down in history for many different reasons, right? Like, what luck is that as a student, or to be able to be an observer? I mean, we're observing, but we're not there. But I think they're students.
With a GMT offset of minus 300 minutes, call on month.
Excuse me, can I sit behind my dad, please? I want to sit. Excuse me, do you mind if I sit next to Mr. Beck? Oh wait, no, I need to be behind Sarah. I'm the jury consultant. Okay, you sit behind Owens.
Call 1 at 12:59 p.m. with a GMT offset of minus 300 minutes. Call on Monday, February 20.
Okay.
That is the best I can do, sir.
Sounds pretty good to me. Someone asked me for commissary reports, the management reports we used to get, and some things regarding Sarah. And I got an email from Orange County Corrections and asked me, like, do you want this? Do you want that? And I was like, can you just send all of it and put it in Excel spreadsheet, please? Either Excel or a PDF would be nice. So okay, we'll
Okay, all right. Anything else, state, we need to address?
Not this time, Your Honor.
Defense?
No, sir.
Okay, all right. Just in the spirit of full disclosure, there are some persons behind me to my right and my left. I run the mock trial program at Barry University School of Law here in town, and these are some of my students as a member of that program, so they're here just simply to observe. So pay no mind or attention to them. With that, are we ready to bring in our jury?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes.
All right, let's stand and bring in our panel.
Judge judge with his students, his mentees. Can you put a 1 if you got a notification? Can you drop a 1 if you got a notification?
State, do you recognize our jury?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense, do you recognize our jury? Yes. All right, y'all can be seated. Thank you. Members of the jury, good afternoon. I hope you enjoyed your lunch. If you could, again, by a show of hands, confirm that you complied with the court's instructions that we gave prior to the break. Record reflect all jurors' hands have been raised. With that, the state is going to continue with their evidence presentation this afternoon. State, you may call your next witness.
State will call Brian Boone.
I was like, let me put my phone down, okay? Because we got to hear all this testimony, okay? Do you hear? Did you see Brian Boone's got all this gray hair now? What? He's not even 50 years old. Wow.
Sir, good afternoon. You could be seated. After seated, if you could please state and spell your name for the record for us.
Brian Boone, B-R-I-A-N, B-O-O-N-E.
Thank you, sir. You may inquire.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Full thick head of hair.
How it is that you know the defendant?
I dated her for quite a while, and then we eventually got married.
When you say you dated her for quite a while, how long are we talking?
I met her in the late 90s, and I believe it was around 2005 when we got married.
Did you have any children as a result of your marriage with the defendant?
Yes, we had one son.
And how old is that son?
He is currently getting ready to turn 14.
Did your marriage with the defendant last?
No, it did not.
And approximately when was it that you separated and began proceedings for divorce?
Probably 2017, I'm thinking maybe.
And at that time, when was your divorce actually finalized?
Maybe it was 2006. I think the divorce was 2017, I believe.
And after your divorce, what was your custody arrangement with your son that you had in common with the defendant?
She was supposed to have him on Mondays and Tuesdays. I would have him Wednesday, Thursdays, and then we'd alternate Friday through Sundays every other week.
So 1 week you would have 5 days with your son, and another week she would have 5 days with him.
Correct.
And was this still the same custody arrangement in February of 2020?
Yes.
And in February of 2020, did you have, do you recall the events that occurred, I guess, first on the late evening of February 23rd, 2020?
On that evening,
Yes.
well, apparently Sarah called me at one point during the night.
Do you recall about what time she called you?
I think it was 11 something.
When you answered the phone, how did Sarah sound on the phone?
She sounded like she had been drinking, was pretty drunk.
Were you able to understand what the defendant was saying?
Somewhat, but she woke me up. I had work the next day. I was asleep when she called. She's done this before, calling me late at night, and generally I kind of just try to ignore it, so I wasn't really paying attention.
Who was she living with at the time?
George Torres?
When she called you late that evening, could you hear George in the background at all?
Not that I remember, no.
Did you pay much attention to this phone call?
No.
Now, the following morning, on February 24th, 2020, did you begin to call the defendant?
Yes, I did.
Bless
And
you.
approximately what time did you begin to call the defendant?
I think it was like 11 o'clock or something.
And why was it that you were calling her?
Well, it was going to be Monday. I had him on Sunday and dropped him off at school, and I was calling to trying to find out if she was going to be actually picking him up that day.
Why would you have a question about whether or not she was picking him up?
She wasn't generally very good about actually getting him on the day she was supposed to.
So it was not uncommon for you to have to remind her to pick him up or to make sure that she was going to pick him up.
Well, I mean, remind or just find out if she was going to, or if she was just going to give him over to me as what happened.
Do you remember at what time on February 24th you actually got in touch with the defendant?
I think it was like 12:30 or something.
And when you actually got in touch with her, what did she tell you on the phone?
That George was dead, and if I would come over.
Did she say what happened to him?
I don't remember if she told me then on the phone or when I got there, but she told me they had been playing hide and seek and that she fell asleep.
What did you advise her to do?
I told her she needed to call 911 and that I would come over as soon as I could.
And this is on your first phone call here at approximately 12:30
Yes.
on 2/24/2020.
Yes.
Did she call you again while you were en route to her residence?
She did. She called to find out if I was still going to be coming over.
And when you spoke with her while you were en route, what, if anything, did you advise her?
I told her she needed to call 911 and told her I was on my way, but she needed to get somebody over there.
How long did it take you to arrive at her residence?
From the first phone call, or?
Yes, from the first one.
Well, I mean, I live a minute or two drive away, but I had to get my puppy. We had just gotten a puppy recently. I had to get him in his crate and stuff like that and put something on because I was working from home. And total time, maybe 10 minutes.
When you arrived at her apartment, tell us what she told you when you arrived.
George was dead, and once again, I don't remember if she told me now or before that they had been playing hide and seek and she fell asleep, but I, at that time, told her again she needed to get 911 called to get somebody over there.
Had she called 911 at this point?
No, she had not.
So you've advised her now 3 times to call 911.
Yes.
Did you go inside of her apartment?
I walked in the front door into the little tiled area, like entranceway thing.
What, if anything, did you observe when you made it to that point?
Looking into the living room, I could see like the end of his feet and maybe a little bit of some legs that were kind of coming out around the backside of the kitchen area.
Did you continue to go into the apartment?
No.
Where did you go?
Sarah told me she was going to call 911 and go outside and have a cigarette and a drink and asked me to come out there with her. And I told her that I didn't really feel comfortable being inside. And I went out front and got in my car and waited for people to show up.
Did you witness the defendant call 911?
I think I was in there when she dialed it and first got somebody on the phone, but I wasn't there for the whole conversation. No, I was outside.
Did you stay there at the scene while police arrived?
Yes, I was there. I was part of it. I knew I'd have to talk to somebody, so
Did you talk with law enforcement?
I did.
Your Honor, I have no further questions at this time.
Thank you. Any cross-examination?
Judge, we want to reserve our questions for when we call in our case.
Okay. All right, sir. You're subject to recall.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Just as long as he remains under subpoena.
My understanding is subject to recall.
So somebody will contact me about when we come back?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir. State, you may call your next witness.
Your Honor, may we approach a moment?
Yes.
It's like, why don't you just ask your questions? You have to inconvenience people. It's already been 4.5 years. The man looked like he took a day off from work. And then now he's got to come back on the same BS. Like, can it just be over already? So when Sarah was on the phone with the 911 and she said, "No, wait, don't leave." That's probably when she was calling. That obviously she was on the phone with 911, but maybe that's when he came in, because that's the mystery. Like, who was she talking to when she said, "No, wait, don't leave"? And that
Members of the
probably
jury, we
was
appreciate your
Brian.
Patience for a few moments while the state attaches a Bluetooth speaker so that they may publish some evidence that's been received so far.
Also, on top of the fact that
Mr. J, whenever you're ready, sir.
it's published now, it's on the
You may do
record
so.
that she had to be told 3 times to call 911.
It's 300 minutes. Call on Monday, February 24th, 2020.
911, what is the location of the emergency? 4748 Brent Court, apartment 3. 4748, what's the street name? Brant, F-R-A-N-T-Z. And the appointment number? 30. Is this a police or medical? My boyfriend is dead. Okay, 7 line for the fire appointment, do not hang up. That's good. No, please don't leave. 4748 Brent Lane, apartment 3, Brent Court.
okay.
It's still with Park Department.
Okay, 4748 France, correct?
Correct.
All right, correct. Now tell me exactly what happened there.
My boyfriend and I were playing last night, and I put him in a case and we were playing, and
Okay.
but kind of hide and seek kind of thing. So I fell asleep, and I woke up, and he was dead in the suitcase. So I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened.
Right, okay, what's your apartment number?
3.
Apartment 3?
Yes, like he had like blood coming out of his mouth, and I don't know, like he had like an aneurysm or what happened.
Right, okay, all right, okay. Listen, we're getting out of the G. All right, okay. Okay,
Now?
okay, 40, yeah, man, this is, we're on our way up there. You're at 407-716-8684. Okay, is he hanging from somewhere or what, man?
No, I pulled him out of the suitcase. I tried giving him CPR.
Okay, so he was in a suitcase?
Yes, and I fell asleep.
Okay, how old is he working, man? 42-year-old man. All right. Okay, we're setting up on the sheriff's office out there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. All right, listen to me. Okay, that you need to confirm this. No, right, I understand. You need to confirm this. Is he awake at all? Is he conscious at all?
No, he's purple.
Is he breathing?
No.
All right. I need you to get him on the floor, flat on his back for you, okay?
I did. I tried giving him CPR.
All right.
I tried giving him CPR.
Yeah, okay, well,
No, nothing happened. He's purple.
but, okay, listen, you did the definition of the bill. I need you to get it for me, okay?
What is
And
it?
is he available?
No.
All right, are you right by him now?
I'm sorry?
Are you right by him now?
Yes.
Okay, okay, ma'am, listen, so this is he cold and stiff?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, he's not necessarily cold, but he's stiff. And
Right, okay. All right, listen to me. Listen to me. I want you to lay him flat on his back for me on the floor.
I did.
Removing the pillows, okay?
Yes, I did.
All right, okay. Wait.
Stiff and purple.
Right, okay, listen. Okay, man, that's fine. We're still going to put compression to him, okay? All right? Take the heel of your hand on his breastbone, right in center of the chest, right between the nipples.
Yes.
Put your other hand on top of that hand.
Ready, I'm telling you. Just like that, I can tell.
Okay.
Please, okay, your girdle.
Okay, listen to me. All right, I want you to place the heel of your hand, okay, right between his chest, right between his breastbones.
Yes.
Put your other hand on top of that hand.
Yes.
We want to pump his chest to be hard and fast, going to twice per second.
I'm doing it again.
Okay, no, just keep on pumping. That's all you need to do for me. Keep on pumping his chest for me. I don't need you to stop and talk or anything. I just want you to count out loud for me, okay?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. This is nice to me.
Okay, man, just keep on pumping his chest. That's all you need to do for me, okay?
Yes. Come on, please, hurry up.
Okay, ma'am, they're driving here as fast as they can. Okay, don't stop to say hurry up. Just keep on pumping and counting.
I'm still doing what I'm telling you, okay?
Okay.
Still doing it.
All right, just keep up the chest. Count out, take and count with you.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. Please hurry.
Okay, man, they're getting here as fast as they can, okay?
He's stiff and he's purple.
Okay, keep pumping his chest for me, ma'am.
I'm still doing it, okay? Still doing it. Just don't make me contact.
Right, okay, that's fine. You did a good job. Just keep on doing it for me. That's all right. They're getting there as fast as they can, along with the sheriff's office also, okay?
Please.
Keep on pumping, man. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep on pumping for me, man.
I'm doing it, okay? We're playing hide and seek.
keep on pumping for me, okay? Okay.
Please hurry.
Right, okay.
Horrible. This is horrific. What happened? Like, what happened?
Okay, man, keep on pumping the chest for me, okay? There's the parking lot. They should be up there shortly, okay?
I'm still doing it, okay?
All right, okay, good. And you found them in a suitcase, you said?
Yes. We were playing hide and seek last night. I fell asleep. I think they're here.
All right, keep on pumping the chest until they push over, okay?
I am.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Open. Come in. There's not coming out.
Let that take over for you, okay?
When was the last time anybody saw him? The last night. We were playing hide and seek. He hid in the container. Okay. But unfortunately, he stood down too long to tell him to report him. Hello, ma'am?
So we're there, obviously.
All right. No, I'm trying to figure out. Okay. Is there anything on the board? No, not that. Hello?
Hey, man, the time to take care of you now, okay? Yeah, so we'll see you there.
All right. Oh, ma'am, is still there? Hello? Contact 407-716-8684, reference to mobile data. 1308.
Call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system. 4.
We're ready to continue with the presentation of witnesses.
Yes, sir. You may call your next witness.
State we call Abraham Moreno.
Abraham is the maintenance man that works at the apartment complex. He actually knew George from his Philly days, and it just turned out that Abraham worked at the apartment complex, but knew George and knew of Sarah. But that's who Abraham is.
Mr. Moreno, raise your right hand and sworn to please swear or affirm the testimony you give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Sir, good afternoon. Could you state and spell your name for the record for us?
Abraham, Abraham, last name is Moreno, Moreno.
Thank you, sir. You may be seated. Mr. Castro, you may inquire.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Tell us, what do you do for a living?
I'm a maintenance supervisor for apartment complexes.
Is that what your position was back in February of 2020?
Yes, it was.
And what apartment complex?
Tealwood Park Apartments.
And how long did you work for Tealwood Park Apartments?
About 2 years.
And tell us, what were some of your duties in your position there with Tealwood Park?
Daily, I cleaned the grounds, walked the property, answered maintenance calls, did emergencies, dealt with vendors.
Did you become familiar with the residents there at the apartment complex?
Yes.
Did you have occasion to meet the defendant in this case and also a George Torres?
Yes.
Let me turn your attention to February 24th. of 2020. Do you recall that date?
Yes,
And on that date, did you have occasion to come in contact with the defendant in this case?
yes, I did.
And tell us, what was the circumstances in which you came into contact with her on February 24th, 2020?
I was called by the manager and the assistant manager to come to her unit. I believe she was already sitting outside at that time.
And when she was sitting outside of her unit, what, if anything, did you observe about her and about the unit?
The police was there. Her ex-husband was present. She was sitting outside, and that's when she decided she wanted to talk to me and the managers.
And what did she tell you?
That she's confused. She's not exactly sure what happened. She pointed out that she recalls that they were playing a game of hide and seek. There was an instance where she was going to teach him a lesson, and then she just doesn't recall anything else until the next morning.
Did she say she fell asleep?
Yes, she did.
Did she say things got out of hand?
I don't really recall that part, but I do recall her stating that they were playing their game and that George went into a suitcase, and I didn't ask any questions. I just let her talk for herself.
How long was this conversation?
For about 4 or 5 minutes.
Your Honor, I have no further questions at this time.
Any cross-examination?
Yes, sir.
You may inquire, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
This conversation that you had with Miss Boone,
Yes,
that took place on the 24th? Is that correct?
yes.
And who else was present on the time that the conversation was taking place?
Standing right next to me would have been Melissa Sexton and Eugene Harris, as well as the officer who was in front of the door.
Okay. So there was a law enforcement officer there that day, is that correct?
Yes.
Now, on the 24th is when you said that Miss Boone made this statement to you. Is that correct?
Yes.
They were playing hide and seek?
Yes.
And what else did she say happened?
She had told me that they were playing hide and seek. They had drank. She was trying to teach him a lesson, and that was that. She went upstairs. She went to sleep. She woke up. She doesn't know what happened.
Okay. So that was on the 24th.
Yes.
All right. On the 26th, were you not interviewed by law enforcement?
Yes.
Okay. So
I may have my days wrong, but it all happened on the same day.
all right, the 24th, do you remember 2 days later that a Detective Scott Lowen conducted an interview with you at 4704 Lucier Court, Winter Park, Florida? You remember that interview?
Yes.
So that was 2 days later, is that correct?
I would assume so.
Yes. All right. So when he interviewed you 2 days later, did you tell him about this statement that Miss Boone made to you that you just told this jury in court?
I did mention it to him.
You did mention it to him?
I mentioned to them that we did have a conversation.
Did you tell him the content of the conversation?
I may not have told him the whole content, but I did tell him we had a conversation.
All right. Well, what did you tell him? What content did you tell him on the 26th?
That they were playing hide and seek, that she was confused. She doesn't know what happened. I do believe I did mention to him the fact that she had said that she was trying to teach him a lesson. Not that anything was done with malice. I didn't state that at all.
So it's your recollection now today that on the 26th, you told Officer Lowen what you just told this jury. Is that correct?
Yeah.
All right. Sir. In preparing for this case, did you have a meeting with the Assistant State Attorney on September 23rd of 2024?
Did I have a meeting?
Yes.
A brief chit chat over the phone.
A brief chit chat, it was over the phone?
Yes, sir.
All right. At that point in time over the phone, did you tell him that Sarah Boone, the defendant, stated that she was teaching him a lesson and things got out of hand and that she fell asleep?
Yes.
Is that what you told him?
Yes.
Okay. And that was in 2024 of September the 23rd of this year, 2024.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Are you telling us that back on February the 26th of 2020, you told Officer Lowen at that time the same thing?
As I recall, yes.
It's like
Or
Mr.
did she ever
Henderson.
tell you how things got out of hand?
No.
Sir, you testified that you knew both Mr. Torres and Miss Boone, is that correct?
Yes.
You actually knew George Torres from a different time, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
When did you first know George Torres?
In the 1990s.
In the 1990s?
He was a teenager and he lived down the street from me and my wife.
So you had had a previous relationship with Mr. Torres?
No, not at all.
Not at all. You just knew him from then?
Yes, as I stated, he was a teenager and I was an adult.
Okay. During this time, though, that you became reacquainted with him, did y'all establish a friendship at that time here in Orlando?
I wouldn't say a friendship, but an acquaintance, yes.
Okay. Sir, on Monday, February the 24th, that would have been the day that you were with Ms. Sexton and Gene Harris.
Yes,
Out in front of the apartment.
correct.
Did you talk to law enforcement that day?
No.
You did not talk to him that day?
I don't recall talking to him that day, no.
Okay. Thank you, sir. I don't have any. If I can confer.
You can, sir.
Thank you, sir. I don't have any further questions.
Any redirect examination?
Just brief.
All right, thank you.
Back in the 90s, when you had previously known George Torres in this case, where were you living at that time?
I lived across the street. I lived on one block. He lived the next block over down in the middle.
In what city?
Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
And when did you move from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania?
2018. I believe.
So in the intervening years, from your move from Philadelphia to coming to work at Tealwood Park, did you have any contact with George Torres?
No, as a matter of fact, I moved from that particular block in 2005. So I don't meet Judge again until I work at Tealwoods.
When did you start working at Tealwoods?
2018, 2019, roughly there.
No further questions.
Can this witness be released?
No, Your Honor, this is subject to recall.
All right, sir. You'll be released subject to recall. Thank you.
Thank you, Your
Honor. That was the maintenance man from Tealwood Apartments. He's not letting nothing slide.
State, call your next witness.
State would call Deputy Kayla Rodriguez.
Okay, here comes Deputy Kayla Rodriguez. Here we go. It's like they're going in order of the body cam videos, okay? Because then it's going to be Chelsea Cupsole, maybe Scott Lowen. Then we're going to probably see the crime scene investigator. They're moving right along.
Raise your right hand if you sworn to swear or affirm that the testimony you give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. Yes.
Good afternoon, ma'am. You could be seated. Please state your name and spell it for the record if you could for us.
Kayla Rodriguez, Kayla, Kayla, Rodriguez, Rodriguez.
All right, thank you. Mr. Cacciatore, you may inquire.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Hi,
Can you tell us did you work for?
Orange County Sheriff's Office,
And what is your position with the Orange County Sheriff's Office?
Deputy Sheriff.
And how long have you been a deputy sheriff?
A little over 8 years, since 2016.
And tell us, what are your duties as a deputy sheriff?
As a deputy, I respond to calls for service, anything from a over with call, like a car being keyed the day prior, or a 911 emergency.
And what type of training do you need to be a deputy sheriff?
So for me, I obtained my bachelor's degree from UCF in criminal justice in 2014. After that, in 2016, I was hired by the sheriff's office. Right after being hired, I went straight into the academy. The academy is 5 months of training. We go over everything from case law, scenarios, defensive tactics, physical training. After that, I do 2 more months with the sheriff's office where we go specifically into policy related to Orange County specifically. After that, I do 3 months on the road with a trainer where we are evaluated periodically through that process. You have a partner, you respond to calls for service during that time, and you slowly learn how to handle calls by yourself.
Do you also undergo continuing training as a condition of your employment?
Yes.
Tell us, were you working on February 24th, 2020?
Yes.
And tell us, what area of the county were you working in?
Orange County, unincorporated Orange County.
And did you receive a call in regards to this case?
Yes.
And what was that call? What information did you have at the time you received the call?
So the dispatcher informed me that a woman called 911. She was actively performing CPR and that her boyfriend was in a suitcase.
And did you respond out to the scene?
Yes.
And when you responded out to the scene, were you dressed similarly as you are dressed today?
Yes.
And just for the record, you have, it looks like a standard green uniform on with a tool belt, your firearm, and also radio, body worn camera, badge.
Yes.
Tell us about your body worn camera.
So my body camera is used to capture scenes when we arrive. So as we are conducting any sort of law enforcement action, we turn our camera on.
When you turn your camera on, tell us, does it immediately capture sound at that point?
It does not. When we activate our camera, it goes back a minute. And the minute that it goes back to, you don't hear any audio for that first minute.
Tell us also about the capacity and the battery life of your camera as well.
So the battery will last us an entire shift typically if it's in a buffering mode. So if we're not recording, it will last the entire shift. As we record, it does drain the battery. So typically we will turn it off if we're sitting in our car for an extended period of time, if we call our supervisor, if we're talking to another deputy on the side, away from a scene, we will not have the camera recording. If it recorded throughout the entire shift, the battery would die. We would need multiple batteries.
So you actually activate the camera in order to begin recording?
Correct.
Was your body camera operational on this call out?
Yes.
Your Honor, may I approach the witness which has been previously marked for identification as states H, I, and G that have been shown to defense?
You may.
Ma'am, I'm first showing you what's been marked for identification as states I. Do you recognize that disc?
Yes.
Did you have an opportunity to review that disc prior to coming to court today?
Yes.
And tell us, what is that disc?
Body worn camera from the day of the incident.
From February 24, 2020?
Correct.
And is that your initials on the disc?
Yes.
And does that disc fairly and accurately represent the contents of your body worn camera?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time, I'd like to move what's previously been marked for identification as states I into evidence.
Any objections?
No objection.
All right, what was pre-marked as I will be received into evidence without objection as states 4.
Ma'am, next I'm showing you what's been marked for identification as states H. Can you take a look at that disc? Tell us, what is that disc?
Body worn camera from the day of the incident.
From February 24th, 2020?
Yes.
And did you have an opportunity to review that disc prior to coming to court today?
Yes.
And is that your initials on the disc?
Yes.
And does that disc fairly and accurately represent the contents of that portion of your body worn camera from that day?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time, I'd like to move what's been marked for identification as states H into evidence.
No objection to any of those coming in.
All right, what was pre-marked as states H will be received without objection as states 5.
And lastly, ma'am, I'm showing you what's been marked for identification as states G. Do you recognize this disc?
Yes.
And tell us, what is that disc?
Body worn camera from the day of the incident.
From February 24th, 2020?
Yes.
And you had an opportunity to review this camera prior to coming to court?
Yes.
And that's your initials on the disc?
Yes.
And it fairly and accurately represents your conduct on the body worn camera?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time, I'd like to move what's been marked for identification as states G into evidence.
No objection.
Thank you. What was pre-marked as states G will be received without objection as state 6.
Your Honor, request permission to publish states 4.
You may.
Your Honor, may we dim the lights and use the overhead projector?
Yes.
Girl, it's gonna get good.
You live here? Okay, I'll talk to you guys, get some information. That's my, the property manager, I don't know if I should go. Tell him really quick, or we'll take care of that. Where's he at? He wants that in. Oh, don't worry about that, we'll take care of that for you, okay? I had to figure out the. Okay, wait 1 second, okay? I really, I'm great. Okay, well, I got my dog parked on the counter. Okay, we'll take care of you 1 second. At the time, what you called it? Is that the time you called it? Okay, perfect. Fine, 227. 607. What's going on? Who is he to you? Boyfriend? Yes, for like 3.5 years. What happened? We drank last night. Can you pass this to the, around to the FBI stuff? They need to sign that, sure. No. Each of them has to, this might be a real thing. So each of them has to put their name.
There you go.
What's going on? I just got here, so yeah.
No problem. Like, puzzle together, we can do some artwork together.
You are putting a puzzle together?
Yes, we have a puzzle that we started in there.
Okay.
We've been doing art, trying to take stuff off the wall to make new art put up there, like having a good time with one another. But we were drinking, we had a bottle of wine last night. So then it's like, we decided to play hide and seek, right?
Okay.
So he gets in the suitcase, okay? That's my ex-husband, my former husband.
How did you live with you guys?
No, I told him over here.
Okay.
I didn't know what to do.
Okay.
I didn't know what to do.
Okay.
So then he came over here.
Here, let's talk inside, okay?
I called you guys. I tried to figure out. The problem is, I fell asleep.
When did you do CPR?
This morning, when I found it,
Before you called?
yes,
1 o'clock right now.
I tried. I was awake, but I actually got out of the bed at like 12:30ish. So I came downstairs, and I was like, oh, he's in the suitcase still. That's when I found him. I took him out. I tried doing CPR, and then I called him, and then I called you guys.
Did he be here before the fire department got here?
Who?
Your husband or your
Yeah.
ex-husband? Okay. Where did you live at?
Right on the street.
Okay. So you were planning to get some updates?
I did, but then I fell asleep.
Okay. Stop. You're okay. I wasn't here. I'm just trying to figure out what
I
happened.
fell asleep. So I don't know if he's suffocated or like had an aneurysm or a heart attack or
What
what.
kind of medical condition did you have?
None that I know of.
Nothing that you know of.
None that I know of. No.
Okay.
All we had was a bottle of wine. Literally, just a bottle of wine.
Okay.
Doing puzzles, artwork. Then we decided to go ahead and see. That's all that happened. But I really never had a attack or what in there. Like, I don't know what happened.
So how long were you doing CPR on him prior to you calling 911? You tried that all morning?
Yes.
Okay.
And then I called him while I was
What time did you start probably? Give me a rough ballpark. Here, let me fill this at the end, okay?
Please, may I have my Dr. Pepper? I am so caught now.
Ma'am, and you can't talk to him until we get done with paper, okay?
Just don't leave, okay, Brian?
Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate it. Thank you.
I know.
Do me a favor. Stand over there by that car. Give me 1 second. There's a dog in there?
Yeah.
You wanna help clear the back bedrooms real quick? Just make sure there's nobody else in here? Nope, he was here with the girlfriend, and that's the girlfriend's ex-husband. He was gonna see it. They were playing hide and go. This is what she said. She's been doing CPR on him all morning before calling us. Yep. So I'm gonna go ahead and start making phone calls.
Okay, go ahead.
What do I do with this dog? Because I don't want him to mess with. Here, come here. Oh, perfect. Okay. Yes. Here, come on, let's go outside. Come on.
Good boy.
Cutie.
Thank you, Robert.
But just want to make sure. Put my glove on. Touch anything.
Orange County.
Sheriff's office. Right over here. Let me check this closet. Is that a garage? That's a garage.
All right, I guess we're gonna have to set up a crime scene now.
Oh,
What's that? Karen, Charlotte, Karen, question. She's like,
Just give us a second, okay? It's on the camera. It's on the camera. I can't move it. You can come out of the house. Here, let's get you down, because I don't want you passing out. This is probably a lot for you to deal with, right? I can get you some water, okay? Just, I want you not on your feet, because I don't want you passing out. I need to use my water. Okay, I'll get some for you.
Your Honor, request permission to publish states 5.
You may proceed.
Let's go ahead and start making the calls. Ma'am, could you go ahead and give me his last name, Torres? Spell it for me. Torres. And his first name? George, Jorge. Jorge. Orge. His birthday? 2/13/78. And this is the boyfriend? Yes. How long? 3.5 years. Living together that whole time? Yes. Okay. And your last name? Boone. Spell it. Boone. First name? Sarah. Sarah. Birthday? 10/10/77. So you had a second to kind of collect yourself. Tell it to me again. You guys were playing last night, drinking a bottle of wine,
Putting us together, doing artwork,
puzzles, artwork.
we had a bottle of wine, and they decided to play hide and seek. So he
What
did,
time was that? Do you remember?
I mean, I know that I was in bed probably by like what, 12:30?
Okay.
Well, I went upstairs at least, and I fell asleep, forgetting that he was
So
in
you
the
guys were
suitcase.
playing the hide and go seek.
Yes.
And at some point you put him in the suitcase?
No, he got in the suitcase. So he thought it'd be funny to be put in the suitcase. So I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna joke with you and I'll zip you up and make him, squirm a little bit, whatever it is. But then I fell asleep. I fell asleep.
Where was the suitcase?
Right where it is.
Right down there?
Yes.
You zipped him in there?
Yes.
Thought it would be funny a little bit?
It was. We both were laughing about it. And then I fell asleep
Where did you fall asleep at?
upstairs.
In your bedroom?
Yes.
Okay,
Totally forgetting that he was in the suitcase gone.
okay. And then you came back downstairs?
This morning, or this
around
afternoon, yes, when I got up.
ballpark, what time?
12:30-ish. I was awake, but I totally forgot that he was in the suitcase. He can tell you there's a lot of things that I/Rita can go jobs,
Yeah, he did tell me.
right, all that good stuff. So I just
So
totally
you
forgot.
began to do CPR on him?
Yes, yes.
About
And he
what
gurgled.
time this morning
He
did you
gurgled.
start doing that CPR?
No, it was the afternoon. It was afternoon because I was awake. But then I finally decided to come downstairs at like 12:30-ish, whatever it is. And I was like, I forgot he was in the suitcase. And he wasn't moving. Nothing was happening. So I unzipped him, took him out and started doing CPR on him. He was on his way up here. I called you when he got here.
Once he got here, you called us?
Yes.
Okay.
And air was coming out and he was gurgling, but I could tell by looking at him.
But you knew how to do CPR, you were doing that on your own?
Yes.
Okay.
And then the person that was on the phone with me also, I counted with him doing
And
it.
he's got no medical, he doesn't take any
I
medication?
don't know, I don't know medical wise, I know he doesn't take any medications whatsoever. The only thing, like I said, I don't know if alcohol had to do with it, but we had a bottle of wine.
Okay, all right. Here, I want you to sit back down, because I don't want
Can I
you.
have one more sip of water?
Yes, go on. I'll do what I can to get you a cup, because I don't want you to have to keep doing that.
The cups are like right there.
Okay. Can I have a cigarette, please? Ma'am, I can't take anything out of the house. It's on the back porch. Nope, all of it, secure, okay? I'll try my best to get you what you need, okay? Maybe one of these extra packs, a pack from someone, you know, sit down and I'll try and get you what you need, okay? Just cut, please. Okay. I don't want you on your feet. Yes, you put him out the side. He came back in? So there's no fence then? Corporal, I can give you a rundown? She's, sitting on the curb at home. I was getting ready to call you guys. Yeah. Wanna talk over here?
Your Honor, request permission to publish State 6.
You may do so.
Hey, Sarah. You get enough water? No, you want to stay seated. I don't want you getting lightheaded. So remember I said the detectives were gonna come out and talk to you and go from there. You know what I'm saying? They're here. They're gonna ask you a few questions and then go from there, okay? All right.
All right, Sarah, my name is Chelsea, my partner Scott. It's my understanding you reside here? Okay, is it just you, okay. Your former husband, okay. But you reside here with George and then your son lives with you or lives, there's 50-50? Yeah. Okay. So from what, has told me, she explained, last night that you guys were drinking a bottle of wine, and around midnight, you decided, okay. You guys decided to play hide and seek.
Well, we were playing hide and seek and then.
Was your son home at the time or, okay,
No, it was fine.
okay.
Decided to play, we just did it like that, like, we were putting puzzles together, we were doing artwork. You can see the puzzle that we finished in there and then the artwork and then decided to play hide and seek, the game stupid.
Okay.
So he decided to get in the suitcase, so I thought it would be funny to, and he was talking about it too, to get him up in there. I go upstairs and he fell asleep. So this morning when I was down here, I actually got up out of the bed. I got sure he was downstairs on the laptop. Really quiet. But then I came upstairs and I'm like, where is he? Like, and that's what I found.
Okay.
I don't know what happened.
Okay. And then you weren't sure about if you woke up this morning?
It was afternoon. I mean, I was
or this afternoon,
but I just didn't want to come downstairs. So I played in the bed for a little while. And then I eventually came downstairs. He knew about where he was. And then I was like, oh my God, he was in the suitcase still. So I pulled him out and I ripped him out and I started to CPR for him. I told you guys. So I told Brian.
Okay.
as soon as he got here, which is 30 seconds down the road, I called you guys. Okay. The person on the phone had me do the concussions potentially, so I can count what's happening. So you guys shut up.
Okay. And so as part of our investigation, we obviously have to go inside the house. We have to look at things. Are you okay with us going in the house and looking at things? Okay. And forensics, so we have to have our forensics crime scene investigators come out. Are you also okay with them coming inside, taking photographs and? Okay. Okay.
Can I ask, is Brian, George, does he diagnose any kind of medical history?
Not that I know of. Not that I know of. I don't know. I mean, it doesn't take drugs. I mean, we'll have you take a while of wine here and there, but I don't know.
Well, that would be my next question. So you guys don't normally drink? You just drink once in a while, or?
Well, I'm gonna say like, okay, I guess normal drinking is like we will have like a glass of wine or two, like while we're eating dinner. Sure, here and say I'm working with them. We'll see from there. But it's not like
A couple of beers a day.
I don't understand though, like, for the little bit that we had, like, not having, like, I don't know if they had a heart attack or a stroke or what happened. I don't know.
So were you guys together all day yesterday? Okay. Here?
Yes.
Like neither of you left the apartment yesterday?
I drove up to the store to get cigarettes.
Okay.
But I mean, you can walk there.
Does he have any history? I know he doesn't now, because you said he doesn't.
I don't know.
As far as you've ever known him, you've never seen him?
No. I mean, he's from Philadelphia, and he grew up in Philadelphia, and then he went to Massachusetts, and then from Massachusetts he came down here. So I don't really know, like, a whole lot of, like, medical history or.
How long have you guys been together?
Almost 4 years, like 3.5 years.
You guys been living here the whole time?
Yes.
He's never been to the doctor or to the hospital during that time?
He and his brother got into a really bad argument at one point and had facial reconstruction. But he has been in the hospital from that. And then I talked him into going to see like a regular physician so he could get just like a regular like checkup thing. Yeah. But there were no red flags.
How long ago was that?
The surgery or the doctor?
Both.
The surgery, I think, was at this point, like 2 years maybe, 2.5 years. The checkup was probably a good 2 years too.
Okay.
And the suitcase is still in there?
Yep, always.
Is it normally stored down there, or did you guys travel recently?
No, we were going to start picking from donation in there, so that's why
it's out.
Yes.
Okay, you guys did recently travel somewhere and like that?
After you zipped them up, did you move the bag around and ask them at all, or you just zipped it up and walked away and asked them?
We're laughing about it, but I went upstairs and I fell asleep.
But what position was he in when he went in? Was he sitting on his rear end and his head up and he just kind of
No,
bent over?
okay, so like this is like this is his head and then right here.
So he was laying on his side?
Yes.
Yes. You just closed the flap and zipped it around?
Yes.
Okay.
I moved my plane.
Understandable, okay.
So he said that I needed to tell you guys about his family. Like, who do I talk to about that?
We're gonna do that once we walk through and see. Yeah, we're gonna.
I'm just telling you, like,
It's gonna be a
I'm
while.
afraid for my life. I want you to know, I am afraid
Why is that?
for my life. His family has never liked me. I'm the blue-eyed white devil, is what they call me. So they've never liked me. They've never taken me in. They've never accepted me. I'll put it that way.
Have you called any of them?
We talked to his daughters yesterday.
No, I mean, like, about this. Is
No.
that- Okay.
That's
So
why
no one's gonna know until we will be making that notification, so
they're going to
it's,
kill me.
okay,
Do
well,
they live local?
Yes, they're down the road. They're going to kill me. His kids are going to kill me in Philadelphia. They're going to kill me. This was not intentional.
okay.
They're not going to understand that. They're not going to accept it.
We're gonna do it thorough investigation. We will definitely make sure that you don't feel scared when we need you, okay?
And my 9-year-old.
Or he's at school and he's with your husband.
I know, well,
Ex-husband.
Your husband said that, or your ex-husband said he made arrangements for your 9-year-old to be picked up.
oh, okay, Mom.
Okay.
All right, we're gonna go aside if that's
Yes,
okay.
please, but can you guys keep
Of
so I
course.
know what's going on?
Yes, ma'am.
And so,
All you have to do is get their attention if you have a question, you need to talk to us. He's standing right there, she'll be right here.
yeah, okay, but when you guys tell me, like, so you're telling me like, you won't call whoever it is without telling me, right? I mean, I have all their phone.
We're not calling, we're not making phone calls, we're actually gonna speak to them in person. We
That'll be
are.
later on.
Okay.
It'll be later.
Prior to us making any
I'm
contact.
not gonna be here. They're going to tell me,
Okay.
We'll address all of that, okay, before we leave, okay?
this was,
Okay? Okay.
thank you. Just stay seated, okay, Sarah? I know you're panicking, okay? Just relax. We'll come and talk to you. We'll keep checking on you.
While you were at the scene, did you also make contact with Brian Boone?
Yes,
Did you take a statement from him as well?
I did.
Were all your interactions with the defendant on that day captured on your body worn camera?
Yes.
I have no additional questions at this time.
Thank you. Any cross-examination?
No questions, Judge.
Is this witness released?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. You're released, not subject to recall, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can the parties approach for a moment? All right, members of our jury, it is 3:21 at this time. We're going to go ahead and take that afternoon regularly scheduled break. I'm going to ask you to come back here in 15 minutes at 3:37. Similar instructions that I've given you previously. Please don't just conduct any independent investigation or research as the person, places, things, or charge involved, and do not have any discussions amongst yourselves or anyone else. I thank you for your service, and we'll see you shortly. Y'all may be seated. Thank you. Bless you. State anything else we need to address?
No, Your Honor.
Defense.
No.
All right, we'll be in a recess till 3:37. Thank you very much.
Can you guys hear me? If you can hear me, can you put a 1 in the chat? Okay. Hey guys. Okay. Wow. I mean, I'm trying to figure out how this is going to take 3 weeks because we had, let me test my memory. We had George, we had the Publix manager, we had the 911 operator, we had Brandon, we had Vincent, we had a 911 call, we had Abraham. Am I missing someone? We had Abraham. We had Kayla. We've now had a video. Did I forget somebody? Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. Okay, back from lunch, we had Brian Boone. Then we had Abraham. We've had Kayla. We've seen most of Kayla's body-worn camera. They're taking a break till 3:30. Maybe they're going to call, I don't know if they're going to call Martinez. Martinez is the other guy that was on the scene with Kayla. So he and Kayla secured the scene. He's another deputy sheriff, Martinez, and then would be Cupsall and Scott Lowen if they're going, after that order. I don't know what else you know what I mean, like what other direction they're going. But in terms of law enforcement, it could be Martinez. Then you would have the detectives. Then I would say you're going to get into the crime scene investigators, the person who, did the chain of custody of certain things. You're probably going to have the person, I forget what her name is. I'd have to look up on the report. I forget what her name is, who downloaded the phone, then the person who did the autopsy, then they'll have the medical examiner, all of that stuff. And that'll probably be tomorrow. But they are really lightning fast going through a lot of this evidence. So it's pretty interesting. I'm so glad that I closed out a bunch of tabs and I went ahead and actually had an update I was supposed to do, so that could have been interfering. And then I reset my whole computer. Not reset it, but you know what I mean, like I shut it down. I shut it all the way down, and closed out all my programs just to kind of just give it a clean, like, can you just do a nice clean reboot? And that's what I did. So yeah, basically like a reboot. Anyway, let's see. All right, so let's talk about Brian Boone real quick. Brian Boone, I don't want to say he's aged. He still looks the same, but the gray hair came in. Sir's hair is still full. I'm curious, is he married now? Does he have a new lady? Because it's been 4 years. Sarah is gone. Lucas probably needs a mother. You know what I'm saying? There's always some thirsty girl in the wings waiting to, look, okay? And maybe not thirsty, but if I were to, if I were in that situation of dating and I knew that this guy's wife was in jail for murder of her boyfriend, I wouldn't really be interested in that family tree. I'm just going to be honest. I wouldn't. Yeah, Sarah Boone's ex-husband, I'm good. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you were married to Sarah Boone? Do you imagine? Yeah, I mean, I don't feel like he looks like he aged in the face. Sarah has aged in the face. Brian hair is just all gray. It's crazy, but being a full-time dad and then dealing with the trauma of Sarah and also the fact that she like triangulated him into this whole mess. I mean, she never had to call. Like why didn't you call 911, ma'am? Like, I mean, when her lawyer said she's not worldly and she's isolated and sheltered, is that why you have like that's look, I mean, come on, ma'am. That's not true. You found your way to those cigarettes and alcohol. You found your way to cheat on your husband. You found your way to flirt with other men at the bar with George to make him jealous. So worldly, I don't know about that. She's not worldly. Anyway, I think they were trying to make her look like Miss Goody Two Shoes sitting there in her little conservative suit. Meanwhile, they saw that body cam footage and it was giving something else. So okay, Brian Boone definitely set the groundwork that she was not a responsible mother, that it was very iffy every single time there was a exchange for the kid. And on top of that, she wasn't reliable. That being said, she had a drinking problem. She was with George. She didn't really interact with them like that. She avoided her responsibilities as a mother. Um, he didn't say she put George over the kid, but I mean, Lucas's room was very clean and tidy. That's one thing I noticed. It looked very organized. The house looked tidy. Downstairs was trash. The carpet was awful. Um, Overall, though, I mean, I'll give it a B. Um, it didn't look like there had been a rock'em sock'em situation going on, but she also had 12 hours to get the apartment together. She had no kid at the house, and George was in the suitcase. So if the house was trash, she had a long time to get it together. And not to mention, we learned that Brian told her at 3 times, either it was at the third time when when he walked in, if he walked in when he said he did, and she said, no, don't leave, and that was Brian at that moment, then let's say 2 times she had to be told, and on the third time she's calling 911, right? So it's like, how your boyfriend is dead, you found him in the suitcase, you call, and Brian says call 911. You don't call 911. You call Brian again, he says call 911. He gets there 10 minutes later. And as we all know, like, seconds make a difference in someone passing, but George probably had been dead for a long time already. You know what I mean? So it's unfortunate. He probably didn't make it to 1 o'clock in the morning. You know what I mean? They said the last video when he lets out the faint Sarah and then that was it. It was quiet. He probably went into a sleep state. From what I understand, positional asphyxiation, they say that he would have passed out before he would have suffocated. So he would have lost his breath. He would have passed out, somewhat like falling asleep. It's not, that he would have already passed out and then died. So, um, you know, it's sad. It's very, very sad. Um, so Brian Boone came and set that groundwork. Abraham the maintenance man. I'm surprised they haven't called the property manager yet, but maybe she's next. Sexton. I forget what her name is, Marianne or something like that. Sexton is her last name. They might be calling her soon. But that statement about teaching a lesson, when she said make him squirm a bit, that corroborates the teach him a lesson comment. So I'm sorry. I hear I hear squirm a little bit. That aligns with I'm going to teach him a lesson. So I don't know. What else? I'm trying to think. Okay, so Abraham came. He knows George from Philly. I feel like they were trying to impeach or kind of disqualify Abraham because he knew George from Philly, but apparently they were acquaintances. I don't think he knew him like that. It was one of those situations where, oh, you're Mr. So and so, or you're so and so's dad, or you're so and so's uncle, kind of thing. And look who so and so works here. I mean, you know, he said George was a teenager. He was a little bit older. He knew him from the neighborhood. Maybe they were, acquainted somehow with the brothers or uncles or something like that. And it wasn't really a thing. And turns out he was working at the same apartment complex. So that's kind of that on that. Let me see what you guys are saying. I think he felt like Henderson is excuse me, let me ask you a question. I got to get his voice down before I can really imitate him. But he's very kind of Aggie, okay? He's giving Aggie. It's giving like I'm he's his way about him is kind of odd. How could you I'm in the car, guys. How could you sleep knowing he was okay in the suitcase? Because she's evil. I'm on the phone. What am I doing? Okay. Okay, move out the way. Okay. Okay. Y'all. Okay. Okay, guys, if you want to come back like in a few minutes, I guess they're still on break. Let's see what time it is. They're supposed to be coming back. So I guess I'll talk to you guys until I had to do afternoon middle school pickup. Farrah, say hi to Bougie Gang, please.
Hi.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday, guys.
How was school?
Good.
When are report cards coming? Is it soon? It's gotta be because progress reports were.
The quarter ends in 2 weeks.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. I mean, I know I'm on top of things. Like, okay. Okay. So how was your day? It was good?
Yeah.
Okay. We're court watching, right? Yes. Sarah, suitcase. Okay. You watch court reels. See, that's the difference. She says she's watching court reels. Okay. Maybe I need to make some reels for TikTok. Oh my God, so much work. It's never ending. Um, Maybe I need to make some reels. Mm-mm-mm. Okay. Happy Friday. The ladies are saying, Bougie Gang saying happy Friday, baby.
Hi, happy Friday.
So the weather's nice. I don't know what the temperature is now. It's much better than it was this morning. Oh, it was 43 this morning. Now it's 67. I'm not mad at 67, even though I still have on a hoodie. But it feels really nice. It feels good. It's no clouds in the sky. The sun is very bright and it feels amazing. It's a nice little crispy afternoon. Um, let's see. Hey, Erica. Hey, Boo. I can't really watch the phone because obviously I'm driving, but I'll be at the house in like 2 minutes. And you guys are going to be like, oh, what? That was fast. I have perfected pickup because it's like if you go too early, you're sitting and waiting for like a half an hour. It's like if you go right on time, it's like the line, you hit it right at the right moment when it's moving and you're in and out. That's, I don't know. Some people want to get there and be first online, but you're sitting there for an hour. So, but I'm lucky because I'm working from home. So I get to, it's a different type of situation for me. I don't have to like commute from across town like I used to. Okay, guys, give me just a minute. I'm going to put you guys down for a sec because I'm getting ready to run back in the house. So I will see you guys in just a second. Okay. Farrah had to tell me a story. Yeah, that was pretty good. I made pretty good time. Let me put my headphones in. I think Farrah's gonna make chocolate chip cookies. Are you doing? Oh, we got back just on time. Okay. Hey, girls.
We are back on the record, case number 2020 CF 2603, State of Florida versus Sarah Boone. Let me get appearances for the state.
Dave Keshner on behalf of the state.
William J. for the state.
Defense.
Jackie Owens for the state.
Tony Henderson with Sarah Boone.
All right. Ms. Boone is still seated at counsel's table, wearing the same black suit and pink blouse from this morning. State, anything we need to address before we bring back in our panel?
Not from the state.
Defense?
No, sir.
All right, let's go ahead and stand and we can bring back in our panel.
I need a snack. I'm not gonna lie, because I was eating at like 11:30. What time is it now? It's like 4 hours later. I'm tempted to order something. Hey Val, hey Boo. Mr. Henderson standing like he got knee problems or he has to go to the bathroom. One or the other. Is some sort of frandrew going on over there at the table. Let's see. Oh, you did? Wow. Micro locks. Is that like sister locks? Well, sister locks, I think, is something different, right?
You may be seated. State, do you recognize our jury?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense, do you recognize our jury?
Yes.
Members of the jury, again, if you could please raise your hands, showing that you complied with the court's instructions during our last break. All right, the record reflects all jurors have raised their hands. State, you may call your next witness.
State will call Deputy John Martinez.
Hello? Hello? Your girl has studied the case file, okay? I've been studying, reading, all of the things. I did it so you didn't have to, okay? Look at the other clerk coming in like, hey girl, I was watching on YouTube. What's going on? You need some help.
Sir, good afternoon. Can you state and spell your name for the record for us?
John Martinez, Johnmartinez.
Thanks, sir. You may be seated. Thank you. You may inquire, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Tell us, who is it that you work for?
Orange County Sheriff's Office,
And what is your position with the Orange County Sheriff's Office?
Deputy Sheriff.
How long have you been with the Orange County Sheriff's Office?
I'm going on my 16th year.
Prior to working for the Orange County Sheriff's Office, do you have any previous law enforcement experience?
I do.
And where was that?
I first started my career with the New York City Police Department,
And how long were you with the New York City Police Department?
about 10 years.
And what was your position with the New York City Police Department?
I was a police officer.
And at the sheriff's office, tell us, what are some of your duties as a deputy sheriff?
Respond to calls of service. My primary function is the school resource officer.
And is continuing training a condition of your employment with the sheriff's office?
It is.
Tell us, how is it that you became involved in this case?
I was dispatched to this location.
And what was this location?
It was located at 4748 France Lane, apartment number 3.
And is that here in Orange County, Florida?
It is.
And when you responded to that location, who did you first come into contact with?
I came in contact with Miss Sarah Boone.
Do you see Sarah Boone here in court today?
I do.
Could you please point to her and identify an article of clothing she's wearing?
The lady sitting in the middle with the black blazer.
Your Honor, may the record reflect that the witnesses identified the defendant?
Record will so reflect.
During the time that you were on the scene, did you have a body-worn camera?
I did.
And was that body-worn camera activated?
It was.
were all your contacts with Miss Boone recorded on that body worn camera?
It was.
Were other deputies also on the scene at that time?
Yes,
And was Deputy Rodriguez there?
she was.
So would both of your body worn cameras both capture some of the same time frames?
Correct, yes.
Did you have an occasion to go inside of the apartment?
I did.
And inside of the apartment, what observations did you make?
When I first entered the apartment, I noticed a Hispanic male laying on his back in looks like a small nook dining area. Later identified Mr. George Torres.
Your Honor, may I approach the witness who's been previously marked for identification as states K and been shown to defense?
You may.
Sir, I'm showing you it's been marked for identification as states K. Do you recognize that disc?
I do.
And tell us, what is that disc?
Is a copy of my body worn camera.
And does this body worn camera fairly and accurately depict the portion of the events that took place on February 24th, 2020?
It does.
And are those your initials on the disc?
Yes, they are.
Your Honor, at this time, I'd like to move what's previously been marked for identification as states K into evidence.
Any objections?
No objection.
What was pre-marked as states K will be received into evidence without objection as state 7.
Your Honor, request permission to publish.
You may. Madam Clerk, can you dim the lights?
So remember, Kayla said that when you turn the body worn camera on, it goes back a minute and the first minute will have no sound. So that explains a lot when you see these videos and the first minute you don't hear any talking. So as soon as you deploy the camera, it's basically silent. And then the voice kicks in. The audio, excuse me.
They're coming out now. I'll get you somebody, okay? She wants to say something. She wants to call someone.
We don't know anything though, like why or how?
So that, we will not know the answer to that because we're not. So what's gonna happen? You're gonna go to the office and they'll have what's called an autopsy. Yeah. That'll be first thing tomorrow morning. I'll know a lot, hopefully a lot more tomorrow morning as far as him. But I cannot, there's no way I can say how, why.
So just by looking at him, like why is he purple?
That's normal when someone passes away. Acidity,
I'm like really scared. I want you guys to know that.
We have all these evidence here, so while we're here, nothing's gonna happen. Before we go and make any notifications, you'll have plenty of time to leave or do what you need to do. Whatever you need to do, okay? And we can talk about that more in Sunday, right? Yeah, you. It's not gonna be a surprise.
But like, I don't, like, this was totally like not intentional. Like, that's what I'm scared about too. Like,
We'll have all the answers. We'll have a lot more answers tomorrow. Like you said, what you're seeing here is common. This is us coming out.
Protocol.
Yeah, it's no real medical history that
I know of.
Where those who have passed away, we come out.
I know.
We come out to an investigation. Medical examiner's office, we send people out, this is what we do. If he was 75 years old and had a history of heart condition, we wouldn't be here.
I don't know what it is.
Exactly, and that's what we're here to find out. We're just here to get the answers. The answers that you want, the answers that families
I
don't want.
really want to see my dad. I mean, I know I can't go anywhere, but right. So do I just like sit out here and wait for you guys?
Yeah, you would, yeah, please.
Does anybody else have you to show up, or everybody's here that needs to be here?
my team's here that needs to be here. The medical examiners will show up when we call them, but we're not ready for them yet. So they're gonna take him, they're gonna take some photos, take him, but that's towards the end of it. And they'll be called well in advance when we're ready for them, but we're not ready for them at this point. So we won't be calling them quite yet. Okay? So like I said, I gotta go do some paperwork. They're gonna chat with some people, and then we're gonna come back and talk to you if you're okay with that. So just give us a little bit more time. Like I said, and you go and do that.
So, if you guys tell his family, like today or after tomorrow? You have to.
Once our investigation is pretty much complete here, once we leave here, we will be knowing.
But again, we'll know. We're not gonna just go and do it without you knowing, we'll know. Talk to you about it, anything like that.
But how, I mean, I understand what you guys and how you do it, and, you know, so, but like, what are you just telling us? What do you tell his parents? Like, what's the reason why?
We tell them what we know at that point. We tell them the truth.
And that we're gonna be waiting for the autopsy results, and I will get the autopsy in the morning, and hopefully the doctor will be able to give me some of what they think and see.
Their number, they can contact them, get it, you know.
So yeah, they're gonna know what we're here, what we're investigating, and that would still.
They're gonna think I killed him. They always have said that. They've always have said that. I told you because I'm the blue-eyed white giant, that's what they call me, because they don't want him with me. So he's basically just not really been around his family because he chooses me over them. Even after I encouraged him numerous times to go there and see his family.
Do you have somewhere safe that you can go unless you run it that's very local, no.
Well, he's in Altamont, but I think he's doing whatever version he's doing. But the only way.
Your phone's inside, correct?
Yeah.
Does he have a phone?
No.
He does not. He used my phone. He uses your phone. Okay, the share phone.
So the only place I could go is over to Brown's house. So I don't think I have a problem with it. So.
Well, like I said, we're not gonna leave here if you do not feel safe here. Not gonna leave here if you're not feeling safe. And then we're like, and then so.
Oh, I in Philadelphia.
Well, she's in Philadelphia, but yes.
There's gotta be a funeral.
Right. That you're talking like days and no, I'm talking right here, right now. So let me do my investigation. Let me go do this paperwork that I'm talking about because we can go back and forth about what it's like all day long.
I know.
So I promise we're not gonna leave here for you and you not feel safe. Right? Please.
I don't even know what to tell you.
It's okay. Just take a seat, have some water, give us a few minutes, let us do our thing, and we'll be back to talk to you, I promise, okay?
Good. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, yeah, okay.
You have anyone in there?
There's somebody here, just me.
Okay, that's fine. You're right there.
Yeah.
Sit there, take your fine. I have relief coming, so just leave it.
No further questions.
Thank you. Any cross-examination?
No, sir.
Can this witness be released?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. You're released, not subject to recall. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
State, you may call your next witness.
State would call Melissa Rothgarden.
Okay. It's the crime scene. Let me look at my notes. I think she's crime scene lady. Let's see. Where's my report? Melissa. Did she go to the scene? Melissa. She might be the phone person. No, she's crime scene. She's number 13 on the report.
Ma'am, good afternoon. Can you state and spell your name for the record for us?
Melissa Rothgarden, Melissa Roughgarden.
Thank you. Counselor, you may inquire.
Ma'am, who do you work for?
I'm employed with the Orange County Sheriff's Office.
What is your position with the Orange County Sheriff's Office?
Currently, I am a forensic biologist with the forensics unit. Prior to this, I was a crime scene investigator for 5 years.
Okay.
And how long in total have you been with the Orange County Sheriff's Office?
About 6.5 years.
And tell us all the positions you've held during that time.
Okay,
Those two, a
badge,
crime scene
right.
investigator. And a
Okay,
forensic
promotions.
biologist.
Let's turn to your work as a crime scene investigator. What does a crime scene investigator do?
We respond to crime scenes. We photograph and document those crime scenes through photographs, notes, and sometimes sketches. We collect evidence, we process the scene, and then we do further processing to the evidence back at our forensics lab.
When you say process evidence or process the scene, can you tell us what that entails?
It depends on the scene and the evidence, but it includes the photographs. We also take swabs for potential DNA. We can also do testing for possible blood and things like that. We also process for latent fingerprints, among other things.
What type of training did you need in order to become a crime scene investigator?
Upon being hired with the sheriff's office, as a CSI, I completed a 16-week training program, which includes in-house processing, as well as going out to crime scenes with trained crime scene investigators to observe and then assist, as well as taking on calls with the trained crime scene investigator.
Approximately how many crime scenes have you processed in the course of your time as a CSI?
It would be hundreds. I don't know the exact amount.
Were you working in this capacity as a CSI on February 24th, 2020?
Yes, I was.
And tell us, where did you respond out to on that day?
I responded to 4748 Franz Court, apartment 3.
And is that in Orange County, Florida?
Yes, it is.
And when you responded to that scene, whom did you make contact with?
I made contact with the homicide detective, Chelsea Kepsel.
Did you receive information from the detective?
Yes, that it was a death investigation.
Did you walk the scene with the detective?
Yes.
And tell us, what does it mean to walk the scene with the detective in a homicide?
We go into the scene and just observe. We don't interact with anything and discuss what we see.
When you walked this scene, did you see George Torres?
Yes, I did.
Where was he located?
He was located on the floor in the living room of the apartment.
Did you, with the detective, identify potential items of evidence to be collected?
Yes.
You had mentioned previously about documenting scenes with photographs. Was that done in this case?
Yes, it was.
Your Honor, may I approach the witness who's been marked for identification as States M and been shown to defense?
May.
Ma'am, I'm showing you who's been marked for identification as States M. Can you take a look at the contents of State M to yourself and tell me if you recognize the items contained within States M? Do you recognize the contents of States M?
Yes, I do.
Tell us, what is the contents of State M?
They are photographs I took on the crime scene.
Do they fairly and accurately represent how that crime scene appeared on February 24th, 2020?
Yes, they do.
Here, at this time, I'd like to move what's previously been marked for identification as States M into evidence.
How many photographs are there? Do you have a total?
111.
No objection.
All right. What was pre-marked as States M will be received into evidence without objection as States 8.
Your Honor, request permission to publish.
You may.
Your Honor, do we have the lights dimmed?
Yes.
Y'all remember like when Pam said when she's in court, she tells her clients, here's a pad, here's a pen. Don't talk to me, write it on paper, and when I can talk to you, I will. I've been thinking about that all day. He's supposed to be paying attention to what's going on. She's talking his ear off. And not paying a bill. Like these people are on their own money.
This is the front door to the residence.
States 5.
This is also the front door of the residence, just a closer image to the door.
When you enter the residence, what is the first area just off to the right of the front door?
That would be the kitchen.
Showing you it's been marked as States 11.
Yes, so this is just inside the door. To the right, there is the kitchen area.
Showing you States 14.
Yes.
What is this a photo of?
So this is the counter with the sink in the kitchen. And there's also the open area just above where you can see into the living room.
I feel like I haven't seen an overhead projector since I was in high school. Remember those?
Showing you from States Composite, photo 19.
Yes.
What is this?
This is a hutch inside the kitchen. You can see in the background, that is where that first photo of the kitchen was taken. So that's the entryway. And then this is the hutch, and there is a cell phone on the hutch in the kitchen.
Yeah, in elementary school, they were like transparencies, like they would write stuff.
This is the trash can in the kitchen. You can also see the hutch we were just looking at there on the side.
States 23.
This is the contents of the trash can. You can see 2 wine bottles on the top of the trash.
Baby.
Did you also find receipts in that trash can as well?
Yes.
Come through, investigator.
These are those same wine bottles and 3 Publix receipts that were removed from the trash can.
Did you take these items and collect them into evidence in this case?
Yes, I did.
Woodridge is like, can you stop mentioning our Chardonnay, please? Okay, Publix.
Photo 32 from the composite.
Yes, this is just in further into that entryway. You can see the living room.
Photo 35 from the composite.
This is another photo of the living room. You can see the victim located on the floor and a suitcase in the bottom corner of the photograph.
Photo 36.
This is another photograph in the living room. This is that wall we saw in the kitchen there with the opening. You can also see a wooden baseball bat leaning against the wall.
Was that baseball bat collected into evidence in this case?
Yes, it was.
Photo 38.
This is, excuse me. This is also a photograph of the living room, just the other side of the room.
Photo 43 from the composite.
Yes. This photograph was taken in the living room. You can see the stairs leading to the second floor.
Photograph 45.
This is a photograph of the living room just from the other side of the room. You can see the front door in the middle back of the photo.
Photo 49 from the composite.
This is a more close-up photograph of the suitcase. This is a photograph of one of the zippers on the suitcase.
Photograph 51.
This is a close-up picture of that same zipper. There is no zipper pull on it. It appeared to be a small wire of some sort, the pink wrapped around the zipper. This is the zipper on the other side of the suitcase.
Just for the record, that's photograph 52. Stage 53 from this composite.
The close-up image of that same zipper. There is also no zipper pull on that one.
Photo 54 from the composite.
This is the contents of the suitcase after just lifting the lid.
Photo 56 from the composite.
More of a close-up image of the items. There were miscellaneous papers and paperwork, some clothing items, and apparent blood inside the suitcase.
What items, what apparent blood was inside the suitcase?
It was observed on the white cap and a necktie, and there was also visible blood just on the interior of the suitcase.
Photo 57 from the composite.
The contents of the suitcase, but you can see the white cap more clearly and the blood observed on it.
From the composite.
You can see the necktie with blood. It appeared to be silver multicolored. And then there's also a diazepam syringe in the plastic casing there. It was prescribed to the victim.
Oh man, did you guys not hear me? My bad. Diazepam is a fast acting. It's a it's first patented, marketed in the United States. It's a fast acting, long lasting benzodiazepine commonly used to treat anxiety disorders and alcohol detoxification, acute recurrent seizures, muscle spasms, severe muscle spasms, and spasticity associated with neurological disorders.
Photo 61 from the composite.
That is the miscellaneous papers and paperwork that was removed from the suitcase.
Photo 62 from the composite.
That's the suitcase after all of the items were removed.
04 from the composite?
Yes, that is what appeared to be some like small pieces of paper that appeared to be soaked with blood.
Is this inside of the suitcase?
Yes.
Photo 65 from the composite?
That is the baseball bat that was leaning against the wall in the living room.
Photo 68 from the composite?
This is back to the stairs to the second floor in the living room.
Photo 69 from the composite?
So it's moving closer to the stairs to the second floor.
Photo 70 from the composite?
Photographing more of the staircase.
So basically, what was said, the reason why I talked about diazepam, there was a syringe with diazepam in it, and it was prescribed to George. I didn't say anything about Xanax or Valium. Okay, so those are brand names for the drug. They specifically said diazepam, so maybe he had the generic. It was in a syringe form. And it is used for anyone just coming in. It is used to typically treat anxiety disorders, alcohol detoxification, acute recurrent seizures, severe muscle spasms, and spasticity associated with neurological disorders.
These are the steps leading to the second floor before I proceed up to the second floor.
This is photo 71 for the record. Photo 72 from the composite?
The upper portion of the stairs leading to the second floor.
How many bedrooms were on the second floor of the unit?
There were 2 bedrooms.
Photo 75 from the composite? What is this?
This is the hallway. You can see a closet in the hallway and then the door to one of the bedrooms.
Does this appear to be a child's room?
Yes, it did.
Photo 79 from the composite?
This is a photograph within the child's bedroom.
Photo 86 from the composite?
This is the door leading to the other bedroom upstairs.
Did this other bedroom also contain a bathroom?
Yes, it did.
Photo 90 from the composite?
This is the bed within that bedroom.
97 from the composite?
This is the bathroom.
In that master bedroom upstairs?
Yes.
Did you also have an occasion to photograph the defendant?
Yes, I did.
You see the defendant here in court today.
Yes, I do.
Could you please point to them and identify our article of clothing they're wearing?
She is right there with a black blazer and a pink shirt.
Your Honor, may the record reflect that the witnesses identified the defendant?
Record so reflect.
Showing you photo 98 from the composite.
This is the photograph I took of the defendant.
Why is it that you were photographing the defendant at this point?
I collected her buccal swabs, which is a DNA standard from the inside of the mouth, and it is part of our procedure to photograph that person for identification purposes.
Do you also document the rest of her body as well at that time?
Yes, I did.
Publishing photograph 101 from State's composite.
This is a photograph of her hands facing upward.
Photograph 102.
This is her right hand facing upward.
Photograph 103.
Her left hand facing upward.
Photograph 104.
Both of her hands facing downward, so the tops of her hands.
Photograph 105.
This is her right hand facing downward.
Photograph 106.
And her left hand facing downward.
Photograph 107.
This would be of her right arm.
Photograph 108.
Her left arm.
Photograph 109.
Her right arm with it facing upward.
Photograph 110.
Her left arm with her arm facing upward.
During the time you were interacting with the defendant, did she ever indicate to you that she had any injuries?
No.
You had previously testified that you also collected physical items of evidence from the home as well in this case.
Yes, I did.
Your Honor, may I approach the witness what's been marked for identification as State C and been shown to defense?
You may.
Ma'am, I'm assuming it was remarked for identification as State C. Can you take a look at that package for me?
Yes.
Do you recognize that package?
Yes, I do.
And tell us, what is that package?
These are the 2 wine bottles that were collected from the trash can.
Is your name on that package?
Yes, my name is on the Orange County Sheriff's Office evidence label that I filled out, and my initials are on the evidence seal from when I sealed the package.
And it also has your agency case number and the location information for this case.
Yes, that is correct.
Ma'am, could you open the contents of States C and look at it to yourself?
Sarah's gonna be like, I remember that wine. That was our favorite wine. She hadn't seen wine since that day. That smell gonna take her right back. That's what it says. So, yes, and it was prescribed to him.
I have to pull them out to recognize the item. They're wrapped in paper.
Sure, just out of view from before.
Thank you. Shall I drop some coins? Okay. Thank you. I appreciate it.
What is the contents of State C?
These are the 2 wine bottles that I collected from the trash can.
Are these wine bottles in the same or substantially the same condition as they were at the time that you packaged them on February 24th, 2020?
Yes, the same time I collected them that day.
Your Honor, at this time, I'd like to move what's previously been marked for identification as States C into evidence.
Any objections?
No objection.
What was pre-marked as State C will be received into evidence as States 9 without objection.
And Your Honor, request permission to publish.
You may do so.
You can unwrap them now.
Oh, I didn't realize my mic was still on. You see how pretty this lady's hair is? Check it out. You can't really see, but sis got a little body wave to her gray. Very pretty. They got the big bottles. They got the big. We're having some company. Sarah, do you remember these bottles of wine? When Sarah goes to the stand, they need to pull those bottles out and say, tell me about these bottles of wine. What can you tell me? When you look at these bottles, what do you remember? Talk to me about these bottles of wine right here. Let's talk about that.
Did you also have occasion to collect the baseball bat from the living room?
Yes, I did.
Your Honor, may I approach the witness who has been previously marked for identification as States B and shown to defense?
You may.
Ma'am, I'm showing you it's been marked for identification as States B. Can you take a look at this item? you recognize this item?
Yes, I do. This is the wooden baseball bat I collected from the living room.
Does this item have your name on it?
Yes, it has my name on the Orange County Sheriff's Office evidence label that I filled out, as well as my initials on the evidence seal.
And it also has your initials and your agency case number as well.
Yes, it does.
Ma'am, could you open States B and look at the contents of it to yourself without displaying it to the court?
Yes.
Thank you. Let me see if I can pull the monitor. Girl, you see what happens when I touch that screen? All right, we're going if you just got gifted, drop a bingo in the chat because you've got access to the member emojis. Okay. Guys, we have 210 here at the moment. Won't you please hit the thumbs up? Appreciate it. TDC, well, you just got gifted. Drop us some bingos. Drop us some Friday bingos in the chat. Okay. Thank you. Make sure to go and watch some good old member content. Go support the content that you now have access to. Thank you, TDC. Thank you, T-Rain. Appreciate it. All right, let me leave the mouse alone. Okay, we were doing so good, right? This morning was a challenge.
What is contained within States B?
The wooden baseball bat.
And is that bat in the same or substantially the same condition as it was at the time that you collected it on February 24, 2020?
Yes, it is.
Your Honor, at this time, I'd like to move what's previously been marked for identification as States B into evidence.
Any objection?
No objection.
What was pre-marked as B will be received into evidence as States 10 without objection.
Your Honor, request permission to publish.
You may.
You also had an occasion to collect a suitcase as well in this case.
Yes,
I was
did.
about to say, I don't know why it wasn't connecting in my brain that the suitcase was next, but y'all, the suitcase is getting ready to come out the box.
Prior to placing the suitcase into evidence, did you process it?
I took measurements of the suitcase.
What are the measurements of the suitcase?
It was 28 inches in length, 20 inches wide, and 8 7/8 inches deep.
Your Honor, at this time, may the witness step down from the stand and approach the clerk's area.
Yes.
Ma'am, I'm showing you when you mark for identification
Thank you, Granny the Great. I appreciate it. Thank you for supporting.
Tell us, what is this item?
This is the suitcase I collected from the living room.
And how is it that you know that this is a suitcase you collected from the living room?
It has the Orange County Sheriff's Office evidence label that I labeled with the item description. It also contains my name and the agent's case number, and my initials are also on the evidence tape.
Ma'am, at this time, could you open States A and look at the contents of it to yourself? What is inside of States A?
This is the suitcase I collected from the living room.
And does it appear to be in the same or substantially the same condition as the time that you collected it and placed it into evidence?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time, I'd like to move what's been marked for identification as States A into evidence.
Any objections?
No objection.
What was pre-marked as A will be received into evidence without objection as States 11.
And Your Honor, at this time, I'd ask for permission to publish States A to the jury.
You may.
I wish they would have kept that shot and see if Sarah's
The inside of it.
looking down writing. Mr. Henderson better stop trying to act like, well, how could George weighed 100 pounds, y'all? And he was listed as 5'4". Okay. So probably about the size of a 7th or an 8th grader. Okay. Not to mention he was an alcoholic and detoxing and all those things.
The zipper that closes the suitcase.
It was a little difficult.
I have no additional questions at this time.
Thank you. Any cross-examination?
Yes, Your Honor.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Are you also referred to as a medical examiner investigator as opposed to just crime scene investigator?
No, that is not my title.
Do you do reports that the crime or that the medical examiner necessarily relies upon in the process of doing the autopsy and additional investigations?
You would have to ask them.
Who makes the decision at the scene? As to what items will be photographed and what items will be taken into custody, what items will necessarily be tested or analyzed.
That's a collaborative effort between the crime scene investigator and the lead detective while on scene.
That would be yourself, and who was the lead detective?
The lead detective was Chelsea Kepsel.
Now, you
matter, did you not?
Yes,
And that report was utilized, if you in fact know, by the medical examiner in developing her autopsy report, was it not?
I do not know.
In your report, did you advise the medical or whomever might read your report that in fact the body had been removed from the suitcase by first offenders or first responders?
No, I don't believe so.
And we know that you have capacity to do DNA analysis, correct?
No, we process DNA and or collect. Swabs for DNA, and then that's submitted to the Florida Department of Law Enforcement for conventional DNA analysis.
You did that with a sample from the inside of Sarah Boone's mouth.
Her buccal swabs were submitted to the FDLE.
And who made that decision?
The detective and I.
Who made the decision not to bother to do a DNA analysis on the blood from the items within the suitcase or the suitcase itself?
That was a discussion between the detective and I.
And you chose not to do that.
No, we did not.
You assumed the blood inside the suitcase belonged to George Torres, correct?
There was blood observed in the suitcase.
But you don't know who that belonged to because you didn't bother to analyze it or have it analyzed, correct?
The blood was not tested.
Now, State's Exhibit B, the bat, you took that into evidence. Was that again a collaborative decision by yourself and the lead detective?
Yes.
And what efforts did you make to have the bat analyzed, given the fact that it was apparently evidence?
It was just collected as evidence from the scene.
Did you advise either the lead detective or anybody else involved with this investigation that there may be matters that could be analyzed when analyzing the bat that would help or assist in the investigation of this matter?
It's my job to do the documentation and the collection of evidence.
Well, you said it was a collaborative effort between yourself and the lead detective, so did you participate in that decision?
We chose to collect the bat and put it into evidence.
And so there was a fiber analysis done on the bat to determine whether or not it was used to strike George Torres when he was in the suitcase. Was there not?
Pardon?
In fact, there was not, was there? There was no effort to analyze the bat.
I'm going to object. I don't believe the witness had an opportunity to answer the question.
Sustained.
I'm sorry. Please.
Can you repeat the question?
If I can remember it, I will. Do you know that there was any effort made in this particular investigation, the investigation of Sarah Boone, to analyze the bat for fibers?
No, there was not.
And why was that not done?
It was not done.
You indicated that you had some interaction with Ms. Boone. Is that correct?
I collected her buccal swabs.
Did you speak with her?
In collecting her buccal swabs, yes.
Did you speak to any other witnesses?
No.
Did you make any determination of other matters that might be of import or evidentiary value when you were going through the house and taking photographs and documenting the interior of the townhouse?
You'll have to be more specific.
Well, how many pictures of the child's bedroom did we see?
Here today,
Yes, ma'am.
we saw the entrance to the bedroom as well as a photograph of the interior of the bedroom.
What was the evidentiary value of that?
It's my job to photograph and document while on scene, so the rooms in the upstairs were photographed and documented.
Did you photograph holes in the wall, possibly made by the victim?
I don't recall photographing holes in the wall now.
Did you take photographs of items within the house or throughout the house that may have depicted incidents of prior violence?
You'll have to be more specific.
How about bloody pillowcases? Did you make any effort to collect and analyze pillowcases of the rooms that you were photographing?
No.
Who made, you have significant experience with zippers?
I use zippers regularly, yes.
Enough to have an opinion as to whether or not a zipper is stuck or not.
Is what? Sorry?
You testified on direct that the zipper was a little tight.
Just that it was difficult without the zipper pulls to use the zipper.
And that was your opinion.
Yes, from opening the suitcase here today.
Today, you only tested it today?
Pardon?
You've only today have for the first time tested the ability to pull open the zipper on the suitcase?
No, I'm saying it was difficult today.
A redirect examination.
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, you documented the entirety of the house as you saw it.
Yes,
So every room in the house,
they were all taken overall photographs.
walls in the house.
In the overall photographs, yes, they weren't all individually photographed, no.
And you did not document or note any type of holes in the wall or any type of damage to the walls, anything like that.
Not the walls, no.
Is that something that would have been documented both photographically and also within your report?
Yes,
You also, as we've previously seen in the composite, saw the victim where he was laying in this case, correct?
yes,
Was the victim, did he have blood on his mouth and on his face?
yes, he did.
Did he have open wounds on his body?
There was blood coming from his nose and his mouth. There was also some other areas like defects noted on his body.
You also made contact with the defendant too, as well.
Yes,
Did you note any other wounds or cuts or anything else that was not documented that you haven't testified to?
no,
So no wounds, nothing on her.
not that I recall, no.
No further questions.
Thank you. Can this witness be released?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Owens, can this witness be released?
Judge, we'd like her to be on call.
Subject to recall, ma'am. Thank you. Can the parties approach?
I just don't think it looks good to be so persnickety with the people who are just doing their jobs. I think what she was saying is that she gets with the detective, like she probably has a protocol, right? When you're trained for your job, they're going to tell you this is important. This is important, that's important, whatever. Like to do your job effectively, cover these 10 items, right? Let's just say. On top of that, you've got the detective that says, make sure to get this, get that,
Members of the jury, thank you
collect
so much
this,
for your
and
attention
collect
in this
that.
matter. It is 4:52. At this time, we're going to go ahead and take our recess for the evening. Madam Clerk has letters that I have signed regarding your jury service for you to provide to your employer. Court deputy will provide them to you in the deliberation room before you are released for the day. I have a similar instruction to read to you that I gave you before the lunch hour. Jurors, you must not conduct any investigation on your own. This includes reading newspapers, watching television, or using a computer, cell phone, the internet, any electronic device, or any other means at all to get information related to this case or the people and places involved in this case. This applies whether you are in the courthouse, at home, or anywhere else. You must not visit places mentioned in the trial or use the internet to look at maps or pictures to see any place discussed during the trial. Jurors, do not watch local news or read local newspapers. Jurors must not have discussions of any sort with friends, family members, or even your fellow jurors about the case or the people and places involved.
I'm getting ready to do
So
some
do not let
research
anyone
right
make
now, and I'm
comments to
just
you
kidding.
or ask questions about the trial. I want to stress again that just as you must not talk about this case face to face, you must not talk about this case by using an electronic device. You must not use phones, computers, or other.
Yeah, that was my point I was getting to, but he started talking, so I stopped. This is my point. So the CSI person probably has a protocol they need to follow. Like, this is the type of call, this is what you're going to need to get. Like, we want you to get the overall scene, get the subject, get anything noteworthy, and then get with the detective. And if there's anything else, as far as standard, I guess it's a standard to take um DNA test, I guess. I don't know. Is it the standard to that person say order this, order that, whatever? I don't know. You know what I mean? Her job is to collect and document. It's not her job to maybe order the tests. I don't even know if it's the detective. Based on what the detective is writing up, then maybe they have the ability to say, well, we'd like this, we'd like that. Run up the homicide profile. Maybe there's something like that, right? And then on top of that, now should they have tested the items in the suitcase? I don't know. I think Sarah was so erratic on the scene. I think it probably played a role. I mean, I think Cupsel and Lowen did a really good job of kind of reining her in, and they could see what kind of person they were dealing with. She was very anxious and very like trying to steer them in a certain direction. I think they could tell. That's why it went from somebody dead and let's go pick them up or whatever to a suspicious, because you can see on the reports it went from Martinez going someone's reported dead to Kayla Rodriguez on her report. um I think Martinez had reported death. She had something like man in a suitcase, and Copsel and Lowen were like suspicious homicide. So they didn't get there. They weren't called. They were called because there was a man in a suitcase. That's not normal, right? Um they're splitting hairs. At the end of the day, we know they did a good job of showing the body cam and what her story was. You heard first from the body cams what was said. Now they're going to have to tell you that she's a liar. She talked to one person, she talked to two people, she talked to three people, she talked to Martinez, she talked to Rodriguez, she talked to Cupsel. She talked to Lowen. I think there was another guy who was there. Where's it? What's his name? She's talked to several people, and some of the people she talked to on a couple of occasions. There was Chelsea Cupsel. There was Corporal Detective Nathaniel Taylor, who was there. He responded as homicide scene supervisor. So they got a supervisor over there, okay? So it was Cupsel lead investigator, Corporal Nathaniel Taylor, who was the supervisor because it was weird. And then Scott Lowen was the guy who was working alongside Chelsea Cupsel, okay? Melissa Rothgarden was the investigator, responded as lead crime scene investigator. Crime scene investigator Shanice Robinson and crime scene investigator supervisor Kelly Wood responded to assist her. Maybe that's who they need to talk to, is Kelly Wood, okay? Investigator Rothgarden photographed the scene, processed the scene, collected and documented potential evidence. Investigator Rothgarden later completed the original crime scene investigative report. So basically, I got there. This is what I observed. Blah blah blah. Medical examiner's office. We're gonna talk to, I guess, eventually Ashley Hammermeister. Okay. She is the medico legal investigator. She is the one who took photos of the scene, supervised the collection of the victims' bodies, and the transport to the medical examiner's office. And then the DO, Dr. Sarah Zydowick, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. The Dr. Zydowick has not determined the victim's cause. So at the time of this report, the doctor had not determined the cause of death yet. So I guess they were still working on that. Anyway, boom. All right, let's let him finish up his instruction and see if there was any business to discuss. I feel like they did a good job today. I lost count of everybody they talked to. I'm gonna have to go back through. Damn. Okay. On my notepad, Kayla Rodriguez, and then let's see who else they had, guys. Let me just finish my list real quick. They did Kayla. After Kayla, they did Martinez, right? Then they did John Martinez. Let me just write him down. John Martinez. Because they watched the videos. Kayla came up, they watched the videos, and then John Martinez came up, right? All right. And then after that, we had Melissa Rothgarden. Let me go ahead and copy and paste her over. Okay. And I think that was it, right? We saw the suitcase. Let me just write that down. Oh, and the buccal swab, so when they do the swab in your mouth for a DNA test, that's a buccal swab. Basically, they can use it to test for many different things. And so they were probably just pulling Sarah's DNA. Did they do everything that they probably would have done for like a gunshot? Or, I mean, I don't know that they were convinced initially that this was like a murder scene because, oh my God, we were drunk. I don't know what happened. It was an accident. I think that her histrionics made it so crazy that maybe the end, I'm sorry, a little bit of Karen. It was Karen. It was a little bit of some white lady privilege. Maybe they just thought, like, maybe they didn't think the worst because I mean, it exists. Okay. It exists. It was Karen. It could have been the Karening. It could have been the whining. It could have been the drunkenness. It could have been a lot of things, but we've seen people get arrested for less, right? The man was in a suitcase. If you are found dead in a suitcase in like New York or New Jersey, they're taking you to jail. They're going to ask you questions at the jail. If they find that maybe like, okay, we're going to let you go. But someone dead in a suitcase and they is a suspicious circumstance, then you move the body. If he was dead and you knew he was dead, I mean, I guess 911 would say, well, they wanted her to do CPR. Maybe I would have just said, I'm not touching him. He's dead. I'm not going to touch anything. He's dead. Like, there's no saving him. Like, that's what she should have said. And not, I don't know why my face is itching. Interesting. I don't know what I was getting to, but dead in a suitcase, you need to come with us. You have the right to remain silent. Okay? She got a whole nother 24 hours to report to the police station. Okay. And she said when she was talking, do you guys remember in the footage? She said, I'm scared. I'm scared for my life. Maybe I'll run. And he's like, whatever you need to do. If I had said that as a black woman, I don't know. Because I mean, I wouldn't have been at that apartment complex. No offense. But they might not, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes it depends on your neighborhood. Sometimes it just depends on the color of your skin. Sis was definitely presenting drunken, not healthy crackheadishness. So they really should have taken her in, but whatever. I don't know. 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 I think the Karening threw everybody off. Cause you know, somebody loud and wrong can kind of throw you off. And maybe they were just trying to give a minute, but there was no remorse. There were no tears. There was no concern. She was more concerned for her life than she was concerned about the fact my man is dead. My man. Not a tear, not a, oh my God, what am I going to do? How am I going to move on? I would be, I can't even give you the words. I don't even want to dig that deep to find out, but I know it wouldn't be right. Like I would be out of my mind, right? I would be out of my body and out of my mind, right? She was definitely, I'm glad they arrested her the following day, but it is definitely okay. Okay. Okay, these are just my notes. I don't think I can show them to you. Can you guys let me see. Let me see if I go on the screen if you can see my sticky note. I was over here typing into a sticky note, y'all. Okay, let's see. No, you can't see my sticky note. I thought y'all could see my sticky note. Is this it? It won't let you guys see it. Okay. Well, I'll publish it. I'll publish it on but basically my sticky note says, okay, court started, we had the Richardson hearing. Witnesses on the stand, Juan Torres, public assistant manager, 911 operator, Vincent Battaglia, Brandon Moat, I may have spelled his name wrong, Brian Boone, 911 call reporting George is dead, Sarah allegedly doing chest compressions. I really don't believe she was doing CPR. Kayla Rodriguez, they played the body cam. John Martinez, did they play some body cam with him? Did they? I don't remember. I think they did. They played one body cam, right? Yes, they played one because after they played it, he got to go. Okay, they played one body cam with John. And then we had Melissa Rothgarden, CSI. And we saw the suitcase and the bat. Okay. Anything else? Did I miss anything? I feel like that's my notes for today, and I will post them. I'll post them. I will give you guys the link or I have this posted because you guys might be more into it now since we're into the case. It's like a 65-page report. I'll give you guys the link. I'll put it in the post. So I'll post it. I'll make it a free member post on Patreon. I know some of you guys are in there, some of you guys are not, but I will make it a free member post. And this is the 65-page report. It's pretty much redacted, but just, you know, I mean, if there's private information, just be careful how you use it. Because some things, you know, it's public information, but it's, you know, it's still like, you know, it's still some private information, but you know, ain't nobody got time for those type of shenanigans, right? Anyway, it's quite interesting. Read through it so you have the details. If you're like totally into this, then get into it. I will make this available to you guys. I'll put the file link, or I'll link the file and I'll put my notes from today and then this afternoon's video. You guys will have it and then we'll talk about it. I know that there is the jury selection. I mean, I guess if we want to be nosy to know who's on the jury, I heard that the 6 that were seated are all females. I don't know. I guess we would need to just I wasn't paying attention when they said juror number so and so. Yes, I didn't hear, so I'm assuming someone said it was 6 females. So I need to go back and listen. I guess I just did not pay attention to like, oh, I hear a bunch of women. I did not it didn't even register like for me to like make note of that. I just didn't. So um okay, is there anything else? I do have some Nesto stuff I want to talk about because I mean, I got the 2 documents I needed, I have. So to talk the motion to suppress, let me see what my energy's like this evening. If I feel up to it, I may come back and we'll do the 3. We'll go back a little bit through the motion to suppress. I don't want to go deep all the way into it because I got to read those 2 other reports and we've gone through that. So if you haven't watched it, I'll share it as a throwback in a little bit and we'll go over the warrant that they referenced and the body warrant and the search warrant. I have both of them, okay? One of them came through while we were live. So I was like, okay. Okay, we can do that. Okay. So Pen Pal is saying we'll see you tomorrow. Okay, you might see me tonight. I'm not sure. I mean, it could be on some late night. It's Friday. So I don't know. We'll see. But you guys have a good one. This was fun today. Hit the like button for me, share on your Facebook or I don't know, Instagram maybe. Facebook is always more conducive to sharing or anything like that. Just share on your social media if you can. I appreciate y'all sharing me out. That helps me grow. So thank you so much. Okay, guys, I'll probably see you guys later. And okay. Bye guys. See you later. Oh, let me tell you guys some tea real quick before you guys hang up. So, I posted the Christina Peterson, right? So Christina Peterson posted, what was the date on it? Let me see. Do I have it posted up? Christina Peterson submitted an affidavit. She's got court. I think I posted it for you guys. She's got court coming up. She posted like a damn 27-page affidavit. That thing, okay. She posted a book, okay? She posted like an ebook of statements, character statements. Why was Madison Kelly in there? Hold on. Is this it? Hold on. I'm going to give y'all a little sneaky peek. Hold on. Whoever stayed behind. Let's see. Alex. So Miss Love, the one who had the situation, the fight. So this is supposed to be Miss Kelly's words. Oh, here, affidavit of Shannon Kelly. That's Madison, right? Okay. I don't think she wrote this, but okay. Hold on. I'm gonna give y'all a little sneaky peek. Oh, the judge, Judge Peterson. Girls, this is special. Okay, hold on. Okay. Okay, so Shannon Kelly personally appeared before the undersigned notary public. Shannon Kelly is of legal age, no legal disability. I make this affidavit to affirm. Okay, on June 20th, around 3 a.m., my friend Alexandra Love was attacked by an unidentified male while waiting in line for food at a food truck outside the Red Martini. I personally observed all incidents mentioned herein and also made several video recordings of certain incidents. During the attack of Love, an identified female, later identified to be probate judge Christina Peterson, came to my friend's aid and attempted to stop the male from attacking her. No other person, security guard or police officer, physically came to Love's aid. I tried to summon security guards to assist, to no avail. Once the man stopped attacking Love, another unidentified male grabbed Love in the attempt to restrain her. Peterson again tried to come to Love's aid and repeatedly told the man to release her. At all times, it appeared Peterson's attention was on Love and the male restraining her, and she directed all of her communications to him while saying, "Let her go." Peterson was attempted to grab Love's arm and get her out of the restraint of the unidentified male. We'll get back more into that. I forgot, we need to just finish up the video real quick because I think he was releasing everybody for the weekend. Let's go back to that and we'll finish this up. I pulled the document, but she's got follow-up court. I don't know what's going to happen, but she swore up and down Fonnie Willis was going to let her go. And I think her lawyer is some sort of, I don't know, some sort of seasoned lawyer from Atlanta, or maybe his dad is. I think she thought she was going to get favor or something. I don't know. Another thing I saw in the jacket, in the file, is that they subpoenaed Wadsworth. So the guy, the police officer that arrested her, they subpoenaed him. And I don't know. We're going to see what happens. I don't know if he has to come to court in November or not, but it should be kind of interesting. Anyway, let's see what Kranick had to say. I guess I'm sure it's over.
Electronic devices to communicate. Do not send or accept any messages related to this case or your jury service. Do not discuss this case or ask for advice by any means at all.
Yay, you've been here all
including
day.
personal
Me
information on
too.
an internet website, chat room, or blog. With that, members of the jury, I'm going to release you back to the deliberation room for you to receive the paperwork for your employer. And we will see you at 9 a.m. this coming Monday, October 21st. And I thank you for your sacrifice and your service.
I like Judge Kranick. He's like top tier. He reminds me like the judge in the Alex Murdaugh case, how he was like so top tier, so professional and kind to the jury and everyone. I really liked him.
You all may be seated. Thank you. State, anything else we need to discuss?
Not from the state.
Defense. All right. Thank you all very much. We will see you at 9 a.m. Monday, October 21. We're off the record.
We are off the record, guys. Guys, that's my new while we're in trial phase, guys. I'm gonna let you guys go because we are off the record. Okay, we are off the record. We did it. Okay, day 1 of trial. Oh my God, how are we gonna do this? But we're getting through, right? Okay. All right, guys. I'm gonna let y'all go. Have a wonderful weekend. Like I said, I might see you later. But I'll see you tomorrow. Okay. All right, guys. Take care.